Everybody, welcome to the Multiverse Show, Season 4, Episode 10. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're doing a very short show for you guys. Sam and I have a kind of pride ourselves away from next-gen consoles to give you guys a quick little brief, brief little rundown here, give you an idea of what's going on with these consoles here for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I was really hoping we were going to have Mike on the show because he has the Series S to tell us about what's going on there, but he wasn't able to make it tonight. So we're going to keep this nice, short, and sweet for you guys. Just cover some just minor topics here and there. We're going to talk about our just general impressions about the systems, some glitches and bugs we've come across, and fixes if we know anything here, as well as some games you want to try on the new systems. And just anything else kind of pops up here. I got my buddy here, Mr. Samuel Tolbert from Windows Central. How you doing tonight, sir?
Doing very well. You hit the nail on the head when you said pry yourself away, because absolutely, I'd make Multiverse, but I had to pry myself away quite literally from those two consoles.
Yeah, man. I know you got a very interesting situation going on, having to write reviews and such. So Yeah, I know you've been working on these systems for a while now, but yeah, we want to kind of talk about some general things here and there. So Sam, let's start with the Series X, since you and I have both messed around with that. I want to get your impressions first on the Series X. So please, just, if you had to run it down for 2 minutes, what would you say about the console from your experience playing it?
Down in 2 minutes. Okay, so first off, incredibly easy setup. I realize that only matters the first time, but seriously, it mattered and it was noticeable. Carrying all my stuff over was very, very easy. From there on, what I'm loving most of all is the speed. Just everything is snappy and responsive. The UI doesn't lag for even a second. You can open the store, close it, and open and close it, and open and close it. I think in the time that previously it would have taken you to just open it on the Xbox One. Those new SSDs and the new CPU cores are really, really doing some great work. Quick resume is really cool. I love it as a feature. I've been able to play The Witcher 3 and then bounce over to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and then we're bouncing over to Gears 5 and then to Grounded, and doing all that in under a minute, easily going from gameplay, not even to main menus, but going into the game and playing. That's pretty wild. That's next gen to me. I love that. Been playing a variety of different games. Checked out the optimization patch for Gears 5. I hear Sea of Thieves is good. I haven't gotten to check that one out yet. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is pretty good. I've been really enjoying that. Put a few hours in. Played through Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War for review, actually. That is a very mixed bag, and it seriously depends on the mode. But yeah, overall, very positive impressions all around. I'm happy.
So yeah, I picked up my Series X on launch day. I was one of the few who got to pre-order it. I will say overall, definitely you're right. At least the install process is the easiest it's ever been before. You literally are just saying, okay, what do you want, on your phone while it's downloading the update. And the update took maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and in that time I already set up my console. So literally, as soon as it was done, I was ready to play. I was ready down to go. It was wow, this is pretty amazing how quick this was. So far, I will say it's kind of anticlimactic at first when you get it, because it's the same UI we've had for the last few months. So it's just kind of cool.
There is that. You sacrifice some of that new console feel for the ease of access, for sure.
And so it's kind of weird at first. It's I don't really get this doesn't feel next gen because you've already been exposed to some of the newer things. But once you start playing a game, you start feeling that difference. It is really impressive. I did play Sea of Thieves for a little bit just to kind of get an idea. Was not the first game I booted up, but it was one of the things I wanted to try. Holy crap, Sea of Thieves is fast. Literally, the time it takes for you to load into the world is just how long it takes for you to matchmake. As soon as you find a session, you are in. Instant. It literally took me. I went to the galleon thing, didn't have anybody else there, so it was matchmaking. But I started my own galleon. It took 5 seconds to load into the world. it was lightning fast. Like, it was like, holy crap. The load times are the biggest thing you'll probably notice. Someone, I forgot who said it, but someone had an idea, like, especially playing a lot of, for at least for the Xbox experience, it's a lot of older games that you're going to be playing for now until they have some newer stuff that pops up. Playing those older games, someone put it this way, normally whenever you play an older game, or like when you think back about an older game fondly, you have rose-colored glasses, you don't think about the load times, you don't think about the glitches or the super low resolution or no HDR or anything like that. But playing it on the Series X is like playing it with the nostalgia goggles on.
Yes, that's a very good way of putting it. That's a very good way of putting it. Is you go in and, like, for Gears 5, it's like, oh, it's still Gears 5, but then you notice, wait a minute, those textures weren't there before. Those,
Yep.
this wasn't this high quality. Like the multiplayer wasn't this smooth before. Like it's like that all around. Another one I would recommend, and not just because I'm me, is The Witcher 3. That thing maxes out at 4K 60 now. Give it a whirl if you haven't tried it in a while. Like the performance difference is night and day.
Yeah. Like it is extremely impressive when it comes down to that. Like there's some smaller little changes to things, like in terms of like making it feel next gen, things that were a little more hidden in the UI updates and like a little more expanded on now. Like if you go to your profile, you actually can choose like your theme for your profile now. So like you can have like your avatar, you can have your gamer pick or whatever. But if you go to your customized profile, you can go to your theme and like you could choose like a bunch of different stuff. Like if you want a Sea of Thieves theme or a Halo theme or a Destiny theme. I got like a Cyberpunk theme, so it's pretty cool. It's a fun little change to things. It makes it feel a little more interesting. So yeah. So let's talk about PlayStation for a minute. I personally do not have a PlayStation 5. My brother was able to secure one. Sam, what's your overall experience there?
Okay, so on the PlayStation 5, you remember how I said that the Xbox Series X, I suppose the S, but we don't have Mike to verify it for us. Sorry, Mike. Is just, it sacrifices a bit of that new console feel for the fact that everything is ported over more smoothly. It's kind of the opposite with the PS5 in that there is a very new, UI. It's completely redesigned. Everything has a shiny feel. The UI is 4K HDR, so man, it pops if you have a good TV. It's like you boot it up, it's like, oh, holy crap, this looks great. They've gotten rid of themes, but they do have a neat feature where if you're hovering over a game, it does a full screen wallpaper and it plays music from the game. So it's kind of like a mini theme for every single game, which is neat in that regard. Parties are a little more complicated, but I got used to it after a while. It's nothing too bad there. So the UI is like, it's a mixed bag. There's some things Sony is trying to work out. I heard some people are having issues porting their PS4 games over. I didn't have any problems. I want to be clear, I didn't have any problems, but I know some people, including coworkers, who have. I have had issues with rest mode. If you enable rest mode on your PS5, there is a very high chance it will crash right now. It's happened to me. It's happened to plenty of other people. So just be aware of that. I wouldn't use rest mode right now. Just download something. Keep the console on in the background if you must download something, and then turn it completely off. I'm sure that'll be fixed soon enough. But I've been playing a couple of different games. One of them is Astro's Playroom, and the other is Demon's Souls, the remake from Blue Point Games. So Astro's Playroom, I have to admit, I didn't play Astrobot Rescue Mission. I don't have a PSVR headset. But Astro's Playroom is just fun. This game feels handcrafted, if that makes any sense at all, Ivan, in a way that most games don't. It feels fun and special. I can't recall the last time this happened where when I booted up, me and my two brothers just spent like 30 minutes passing the controller back and forth, trying out the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers. And I'm telling you right now, I was wrong. I thought that those things were being overhyped. Those features are incredible. It adds a level of immersion that is truly crazy. I don't know how else to put it. It just, the idea that you're simulating, you're swimming in water, or you're pushing through sand or gliding over ice or walking through grass, and you can feel it on the controller. It must be experienced to be understood, or using the triggers to very lightly climb up loose rubble, or getting pulled back from the trigger when you're trying to pull a heavy object. It's a great showcase. It's a fun game. Lots of different nods to PlayStation history. Did a really good job with that. So hats off to Asobi team at Japan Studio. The other game I've been playing, and I actually just turned in a review that should be up sometime early tomorrow, is Demon Souls for the PS5. And since I have a review, I'll keep it very brief. Suffice to say, this is one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. And it's running at 60 FPS. I mean, it is gorgeous. Uses the DualSense really well, like in the haptic feedback. If you climb on an elevator and you can feel the chain and the vibrations of the chain pulsing correctly, like they should, and stabbing someone in the back with a sword feels completely different from clobbering them with a mace in a way that other controllers, Rumble or even Rumble HD on the Switch just hasn't simulated. It's very difficult to talk about how immersive it is without actually putting the controller in someone's hands. But yeah, so overall, very good experience with the game so far.
All right, nice. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys right now. Really, this time of year, when new consoles launch, there are gonna be bugs and glitches, and like, Sam already briefly touched on this. But like this is pretty normal. So if I'm just go ahead and tell you now, at least for both of these consoles, is if you absolutely have to have the newest stuff and the absolutely brand new, you have to be the first in line. We're not going to be able to convince you at all. We're not going to be able to try to, but we're just going to tell you now, like, just wait. Like there are a good chunk of bugs that people are going through right now, and it's like if you don't like having to troubleshoot or being an insider or anything like that, don't bother right now. Just wait till December. Like things should be much better by that point. There's still gonna be issues probably by then, but it's just really there's probably gonna be some stuff going on still. I just want to make sure that's clear because a lot of people are disappointed and they're like still trying to scramble for one, or like people paid $800 to a scalper to try and get one. Like, don't go into it expecting things to be like sunshine and roses. It's just not right now, but that's how it always is. So I want to go over like just some of the glitches and stuff. Sam, have you encountered anything, at least on the Series X, for glitches or anything?
I haven't found any glitches. Now, admittedly, I want to be clear. Aside from like the 7 hours I put in on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I have spent more time, I would say, with my PS5. It's close, but I would say like 60-40. So to be fair, I haven't spent as much time with my Series X as I would have liked to yet. I will be over the upcoming week. The only thing I can think of is I know some people, I haven't experienced this personally, but some people are having issues getting quick resume to work.
Yeah,
I'm noticing that.
That definitely is one I've encountered. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And the only other thing I was going to say is this is a known issue. Microsoft has said they're working on a patch right now that could be out any day. But right now, if you capture gameplay on the Series X, like the 30-second record function, there's a very high chance it's way too dark for some reason if you have HDR enabled. It doesn't seem to be translating correctly. It's a known issue, so it should be fixed soon, but right now that's very frustrating. So I did experience that.
I haven't seen that one yet for me personally, but I will say the quick resume thing is very interesting, and I want to talk about that for a minute because honestly, quick resume is really just insane. Like, I mean, really insane. So right now, the glitch that's currently floating around that people are experiencing is that they are going through like some games don't do quick resume. And it seems to be on a game-by-game basis, but the one common denominator I've seen so far is anything that has an explicit patch for Xbox Series X does not work with quick resume. So like there is that. I assume there's probably at least one or two people who are trying to get quick resume in an online game. Unfortunately, at least with the online game, as soon as you boot that thing up to try and play it. An online thing, it will shut down the online session even if you're gone for like just a second. So like for example, like I play Fallout 76, If I try to boot up Tony Hawk and play that while I'm waiting for them to find or find a server for Fallout 76, it will discontinue it and sign you out entirely. Like it's that's the one thing there. I don't know if that's a glitch per se. It's just a minor inconvenience. But beyond that, I would say that it's honestly, like I said, there's some problems. I heard with Assassin's Creed Valhalla in particular being the main one that people complain about, but I think that's mainly just because it's like the new big game for Xbox right now. So a lot of people are playing that as their next gen showcase. Other than that aspect,
Sure.
I have been playing. Not playing. One of the games I will say, like the quick resume thing, is actually really, really insane, and I can't overstate this. So I was having an issue. Another issue I'll talk about later. I was having an issue with my Xbox like cutting out, like where like my cable only on the dashboard would go black and then come back, and it was just random. It had no rhyme or reason to it. And so I was messing around with settings, and one of the things I had to do was I had to completely unplug it into a cold boot. So I unplugged it, waited about 5 to 10 minutes, and turned it back on, and like went to play something else. Like once it booted up, and then I had been playing Tony Hawk before. And I literally went back, clicked on Tony Hawk, and it quick resumed immediately where I left off, even though the system had been unplugged. Like that is absolutely insane to me. But it's really, really cool. But yeah, that's the one glitch aspect that we've seen of it. Just some games don't work currently, and that's a known issue at this point. Another issue I ran into was like I said, the cutting to black. That was more of a TV firmware thing. So if you guys are having problems with your screens, hey, it's understandable. I've gotten a couple DMs about it already. Other people saying their TVs don't work with it, or it keeps cutting out, or something like that. A lot of it has to do with the firmware side of your TV. So don't be surprised, because a lot of TVs are still updating to having HDMI 2.0. Like I literally had to do a firmware update on my TV before I got it, because I knew it had not been updated yet for the 2.0. So a lot of games are having problems. Well, not games. A lot of TVs are having problems. If you have a newer TV, like in the last 2 years or so, you should be okay. But yeah, some of the older TVs, like 3-4 years or older, yeah, you're gonna need some firmware updates to fix those problems. My suggestion is go to 24 pixel density or 8-bit for now. Even if your TV can go more, just do that 8-bit for now. It should be okay. There's a couple other things I noticed. Anything else, Sam? I'll try to look for. I have my list here somewhere.
In terms of issues, in terms of glitches I've experienced or heard other people experiencing,
anything at all.
Anything at all. I said this before, I'll say it again. The SSDs and the CPUs are the biggest thing about this. Seriously, like, yeah, more pixels, more graphics is great, but that doesn't matter as much as just the speed and ease of access. Let me give an example. Demon's Souls on the PS3 would often take well over a minute to load. If you were going in between locations or you died and you had to respawn, that added quite a bit of frustration. Now, it's 2 seconds. Seriously, it's incredible how much this is going to reap benefits, and honestly, I think this is going to change game design. It's going to take a while for that to manifest. It's going to take a while for developers to get used to it. We're still in the cross-gen period. Some games are still coming to PS4 and Xbox One, but I'm telling you, over time, this is going to change how games are being made, being able to just pull in that much raw data so quickly. Devs are going to get to do some pretty crazy stuff with it.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, I'm loving the deluge of 60 FPS options and 120 FPS options in games. We're getting a ton of them, and I really appreciate that.
One thing I will say, at least in terms of the games, my personal experience has been I am frustrated with trying to figure out which performance mode works best for whatever game, and like some of it doesn't make any sense, and some of it makes perfect sense at the same time. Like Witcher 3 was probably the easiest one. You just go to the performance mode and just focus on the frame rate, so it basically just unlocks it and lets it go ham. But then like it has dynamic resolution, so it just brute forces its way to 4K, which is great. But then there's other games where it doesn't work like that, and it's it's strange. Like Hitman is the one where it's like literally the opposite, where it's if you're playing Hitman 1, you need to be in the performance mode because it unlocks the frame rate. No, other way around. I'm sorry. You have to be in the resolution mode, and it will brute force its way to 60 FPS. But then, if you are in Hitman 2, you gotta do the opposite. And so it's such a weird thing, but it's close, but it's just very strange. So it's just you have to get used to looking for those sorts of things.
For sure.
I did have another issue, but like the rest of these are really just kind of smaller things. Like okay, connectivity issues with your controller, like it'll get disconnected every so often. Happened like twice to me, and that was about it. I haven't had it happen since. What else is there? Honestly, I had a couple audio issues where like a game's audio will just cut out entirely. But like, it's small stuff, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've
Sure.
come across.
And also, I think it's worth emphasizing right now, Ivan, that we're in a very early stage where they probably, both Sony and Microsoft, simply can't detect some of these issues in testing because they don't have a wide enough pool.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how many times they test their units. It's always going to be in a best case scenario. You have to get them out to millions of people and then start to find what the problems are from there.
So like, that's why I think it's dumb that we're like, some people are trying to celebrate like other people having glitches and stuff, and it's like, look, some of this stuff's gonna happen.
I've shared a couple. Yeah, I've shared a couple of glitches that I ran into with rest mode on my PS5, but like, it's not a fanboy thing. Just this is more of a PSA. Like, hey, right now, don't use it. So let's get Sony noticing this so they can get an update out. Like, that's what you should be doing.
Yes.
This is a happy time. Be happy for people playing games, for God's sake.
Yep. Yeah, I mean I think it covers our glitches aspect of it. All right, so Sam, if you had to pick 3 games on the next gen console, so you have the dirty problem of picking 6, unless there's some overlap there. But if you had to pick like 3 games as like these are the games to try on next gen, what would you do? What would you pick?
So my 3 games on Xbox Series X are going to be Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Gears 5, pardon me, and then The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. All 3 of those games see significant improvements, and that's without Witcher 3 even getting a dedicated patch. All those games are great. Over on PS5, I would recommend Astro's Playroom, Demon's Souls, and Ghost of Tsushima. Astro's Playroom is a free pack-in, actually, so you really don't have an excuse on that one. Like, it comes with the console. It's free. It's right there. It is a tech demo, yes. It's also a lovingly beautiful game, and you can tell how much passion is in it. And it shows off the features of the DualSense really well, so check it out. Demon Souls, I've talked about that before. I have a full review coming tomorrow. And then Ghost of Tsushima on the PlayStation side actually maxes out at 60 FPS now. It's a smooth, steady, locked 60 FPS thanks to a new option. So if you like that, katana combat and all that, it's even better now.
Wow. Nice. So for me, I want to like give you guys a general view of like what games are really good to show it with. So the first game I'm gonna mention is Sea of Thieves. That game, this is more of a performance game personally, where it's you will notice a difference kind of game immediately. Normally Sea of Thieves is known for beautiful like water graphics, and also not just that, but the fact that it's also known for like long ass loading times. Normally loading into a game is like 2 minutes or like 1 to 2 minutes in there. There's the matchmaking aspect of it, and then actually loading in the game. Sea of Thieves, I personally am able to load into a game in like 7 seconds. It is ridiculously fast. It's literally just, we're going to matchmake, and then you're in the game. Like, I'm going to do it right now, actually. I'm opening up a galleon to an open crew. Opening up the crew ledger right now. Set sail. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm in a game playing right now.
That's amazing. That's absolutely incredible, dude.
Like, it is ridiculously fast. Now, some people are saying, okay, they're having issues into it, but I think it's more the matchmaking side of things. Personally, where it's just like, hey, I want to find it. But yeah, it is a very impressive aspect there to like just to be able to load in and be able to play like that quickly. Other than that, for me, visual side, well, this is not less visual thing. I've been playing Destiny 2 just because it's available on Game Pass. It's a lot of fun. This doesn't really count towards my list, but I want to say, the load times are basically gone. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, I could fast travel to the tower, and then like 5 seconds later be in a completely different planet doing a mission already. Like, it is really
fast. If you're familiar
fast.
with Destiny 2, you remember that the loading screens used to be long. They are not fun to sit through.
Yep, they're long, nothing comes up, you're just bored. The other game I suggest is Forza Horizon 4. Now, there are a few little things that are wrong with it right now, like just some slight changes here and there. Namely, like they didn't really add any new like features to it, so per se. For reference, on Forza Horizon 4, at least for that particular one, they were running you had 2 different modes you could pick on the One X. You could do the 60 FPS, but like lower resolution, or they were trying to like maneuver some little assets around things that would lower the frame rate. Or you could play at the 30 FPS mode, but it was like 4K and like extra features and such. This particular version of the game is really just that 60 FPS version, but they've added a lot of the features back, but there's still some little aspects to it that don't make a lot of sense yet. But my understanding is that they are patching those in. But even then, just the base product itself is amazing. Whenever you see what it is, like, it's 60 FPS racing, and with just high realistic textures and everything, it looks really, really good. Even if you're not a racing fan, the Forza Horizon series is a lot of fun to play. So I highly suggest that. I have 2 games you can flip between if you wanted to. Grounded is interesting to see because if you die, the respawn is instant. Like, literally instant. As soon as you press X, you are already back up and running again. Like, nothing happened. It feels really quick. They increase the draw distance a little bit, and like it looks nice. But the other game, this one has received no patches whatsoever. Elite Dangerous. That game looks really, really good at 4K 60. It really looks good. Definitely take a look at it. I'd suggest Watch Dogs Legion, but I haven't played a lot of it. Like the ray tracing's awesome, but yeah, I've not played a lot of it. Other than that, just to look at the ray tracing. So, I think it covers our games to try. Yeah, I mean, we want to keep it short and sweet for you guys. It's not like a ton to really talk about right now. I mean, there's some like minor stuff.
Yeah. It bodes well. You know what, Ivan? I'll say this as my closing thoughts here. It bodes well for the future. Yeah. Like, it's exciting. It doesn't matter what side you're on with it, whether it's Xbox with Halo Infinite and, Avowed and all the Bethesda stuff now because of that acquisition, or over on the PlayStation side with Horizon Forbidden West, Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, and the next God of War. Like, you've got great games ahead of you, and these systems are laying the groundwork in a pretty spectacular way. If you are one of the people who has the systems, enjoy. I hope you don't have any problems. Report them if you do, to the appropriate sources, of course. And if you don't have a system yet, hang in there. Demand is tight. You'll probably be able to get one sometime early next year.
And don't fall for a scalper. Like, it is.
Yeah, and don't feed the scalpers. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Please don't.
Like, they're trying to take like advantage of people. Like, today, I was trying to see if I could find one for Dollface, and I was just going through going through Facebook Marketplace and messaging people I found. Like, to me personally, this is just saying, because these consoles are about $500, I'm I would consider if it was like $600. If it was something like that, I would consider it. Namely just because, like, hey, you went through the trouble of getting it, you pay for the taxes involved and all this kind of stuff. I'd be like, fair. The profit's enough to get yourself a game or something like that. I think that's fair personally. But like these people doing 800 and more, nah. Like that's not cool at all for these people. But like it's funny because I literally had people they'll advertise $500 and then you message them and they're like, no, I'm doing 800, and it's like, what was even the point? Like why are you like, why'd you put 500 then? And like they're literally just trying to play you. And like, what was that one guy who was trying to tell me like, oh, I'll trade for I really want to trade it for a PlayStation 5. And I was like, okay. Well, no one's gonna trade their PlayStation 5, dude. I'm sorry. Like no one's looking to.
Yeah.
Like you're not in that stage of the game right now. Like no one's looking to trade for a PlayStation 5 at this point. If they were able to get it, they're not giving it up now. So I was like, it's just dumb. But all right, cool. The cool story, bro. And I was like, look, honestly, like PlayStation even came out and said they weren't going to have any retail units like available just to go buy in stores until like 2021. It's all online orders for now. So like, why? So dumb. But yeah, it's just silly things like that. I can't think of what else I know. I know personally, I'm just waiting for Cyberpunk when it comes out next month. Fingers crossed this time.
10th. December 10th.
I swear,
Come
they
on.
delay this game again. Oh my god! Like they should give away this game for free and make it a free to play, just as an apology at this point. I'm just that tired of it right now. I know you don't think.
I understand you're tired. I understand you're tired. Like I said before, I'll say it again. They had to have known this was coming. They should have just delayed it to November when they first delayed it in April. Like that was the thing. I mean, excuse me, to December. Like that was the thing. Is like if you couldn't make April, just go ahead and delay it all the way. Give yourself plenty of time. Then you wouldn't be in this situation for sure.
But yeah, it's just dumb stuff. I don't know. I think we're done here, honestly. Anything else you want to talk about before we move out?
No, I want to get some food and I want to go hop back on Demon Souls, honestly. Yep. So there's not a lot of news right now, and to be blunt, there probably isn't going to be. We're in that wind down period. It will be very unusual if there's a big piece of news we need to discuss.
Like really, this is more like the go relax and enjoy yourself kind of time frame. So like we're gonna play it fast and loose with episodes. So if we don't appear for 1 week, that's probably why there isn't really much to talk about, and we want to play games and spend time with our families. So, yep, fun times. So where can good people be? Oh wow, just out of randomness, I'm playing on my Series X right now, looking on Sea of Thieves. I came across the Xbox Addict Shrine. You remember that? Sam?
Can you not hear me?
No, you're cutting out for me.
I'm trying to say that I remember.
Yeah, I found the box, or the book in this case is his shrine. Like, wow. Just thinking he didn't get a chance to even see this generation. Man, that's sad.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, we'll wrap things up here. Sam, where can people find you? Where can they find these reviews coming out from all your hard work this week?
So you can find me on Twitter at Samuel Tolbert, Tolbert. Come yell at me, it's fun. And then actually you can read my review of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War right now on Windows Central. And tomorrow, I don't know the exact time, but early morning Eastern, you should be able to read my review of Demon Souls. So please come check that out. I busted my butt this weekend.
Yep. Anchorman V2, you can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. not super hard to find, honestly. So, just hit me up. I'll play some games, talk about some stuff. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and we are out of here. All right, we're clear.